Hey, this is Zack from Hugoton, Kansas. Today we're going to be changing over a 2018 S770 from corn to wheat. So I like to start out up here at the feeder house. For corn, you have your feeder house drum raised up. So we're first starting out, grab your pry bar. Gonna have these levers here on each side. Start out by pulling that pin, putting them in the down position. Sometimes this can be a bit of a pain. They've been sitting over the winter. It's still got a little bit of corn residue in there and whatnot. So, got your pry bar. Try not to pry on any of your hydraulic hoses too much. There we go. You have to do the same process on the other side. Then while I'm right here, also like to make sure you're on your 26 tooth sprocket, ready for wheat. Then we can move right on into our feed accelerator. Just pull your door off. We want to make sure we're in the high speed position. So it'd be you got your diagram right here. We're going to make sure you're on your small pulley in the front, large pulley in the rear, which looks like we're already set for there. If you were going to change it, pretty simple. Move your lever down. It helps if you take your cover off, give you a little more room for your tensioner. Pull your tensioner, get it up out of the way. Start with either belt. I generally start with the back one, gives you a little more room. Get your back belt off onto your small pulley. Move to your front.
Go to retention.
Put your tensioner back. You can check your tension, make sure you're good while you're here. Looks like we're good to go. Then we'll move on back to the chopper. Got our cob deflector. You can see we're still in the corn position. Pull our pin. Put it back up into wheat. Now we'll move around to our chopper drive. It's just behind this door right here. We should still be in low speed. Yep, which we are. Pretty simple. Put her into high speed. Now your chopper knives are going to depend on whether you run a shellborn, draper head, auger head, depending on if you're going to be taking in any straw. If you're running a shellborn, you can just leave those knives cranked out, which is how they are right now. No reason to run your knives in if you're just getting what little bit of material from your shellborn. So this customer would be running a shellborn, so we'll just leave it how it is. Then we can move on up. Next thing would be to check your concaves. This one still has round bars in it, so we would know we still needed to change concaves to get our small wires in there. Decide how many strips we want to run, if we want to run any concave strips for our small wire concaves. Then also while you're here, this customer had their combine in first gear for corn. So we can go ahead and get that put into second gear.
Okay.
What I like to do, you can go ahead and try to get it in neutral. This one actually went in neutral really easy. Get it rocking a little bit, get it moving. There you go. Helps to get it rocking back and forth a little bit, make it go into second a little bit easier. Something I like to tell guys, you get that put back into second, start your combine, start your separator before you're gonna pull in the wheat or whatever crop you're going into. Make sure that thing's locked into second. You don't want to pull in the crop and have it kick into neutral on you. So that's just something to keep an eye out for. That pretty much sums up, your outside changes. The rest of the stuff we're gonna do is gonna be up in the cab on the display. Okay, so moving in from outside, we'll go ahead and do our display next. We can start out, we can see we're still set up on our last field from last fall for corn. We can go in here to our setup in the bottom left corner. You can see our crop type. Go ahead and take that out. Go down here to hard red winter wheat. Our variety, for the sake of this, we'll just do variety 1. Something else to check in there before you get out of there is your harvest setup. If your combine's equipped with integrated combine adjustment. For this sake, we're just going to leave this off. We got our base settings we're going to get to. That'll get us started. So here for our settings, our threshing clearance, 12 to 13. I mean, that's a middle ground. You give yourself some adjustment from there. Your chaffer, your top sieve, 16, 17, generally a good place to start for wheat. Your bottom sieve, 6 to 8 is a general rule of thumb. I will just do 7. Obviously, your threshing speed and your cleaning fan speed, the separator needs to be running for that. So now we'll go ahead and kick that in. And obviously we need to be idled up. Our threshing speed, 900 to 950, generally a good start point. Kind of gives you some adjustment on either side, whichever way you need to go. Cleaning fan speed, that's going to kind of depend on your test weight. 1,000 to 1,050. Generally, good. Give yourself some room on either side. Something I also like to do right here with your separator running, so you don't forget, is go ahead and kick your feeder house in without a header on. You go ahead and take that feeder house and turn it all the way down on the speed. And this is equipped with the multi-speed drive for the feeder house, so you can see the notification popped up. We're in first. We're in our lowest gear. That's what we want to be in if we're running a draper head or an auger head. Something with a cutter bar. We don't need to be slinging that cutter bar around. So that's something you can go ahead and do now. You don't forget, because once you connect your single point adapter on your header, you won't be able to control that the same way with this. So it's just easier, just do it now, get it done, you don't forget. Something else to go ahead and do, we can go ahead and go into our calibrations, just something you can get done, get out of the way. We can go ahead and go to our mass flow is something you're going to want to do. Mass flow, you want to do that with your header on after you're to the field. You can go ahead and do it, at the shop, at the farm, whatever. You can go ahead and do it, make sure it's going to calibrate up. You're not going to have any issues, but that's something you definitely want to do once you get to the field and you're done moving, you're done roading. They recommend you calibrate your mass flow anytime you move down the road. So especially that first time, go into your first field, you get there, go ahead and calibrate that mass flow. Make sure you're getting an accurate yield representation. We want to go ahead and do our threshing clearance calibration as well. Pretty simple, hit calibrate. It'll cycle your concaves as tight as they'll go and as loose as they'll go, and make sure it knows where it's at in the process. But other than that, you get your mass flow calibrated, your header calibrated once you put a header on. That's pretty much all there is to it.